So I'm not gonna lie, I don't have all that much experience with superheroes. The only comics I own are 2 issues of Sonichu and a comic where Archie beats Obama. I don't own any superhero games, and the last big superhero movie I watched in full was Black Panther. Or in other words, I'm as qualified to talk about superheroes as anyone in r/DC Comics circle jerk. Now, of course, I've watched The Boys and Invincible. Thanks to Adult Swim, I've become aware of the more fringe examples like The Venture Bros, Harvey Birdman, and of course Space Ghost. Recently, I've been watching a lot of relatively forgotten about DC shows too, so look out for a video on that, by the way. But there's one rarely discussed superhero show that I find to be a divine work of art comparable to Citizen Kane, featuring characters with such incredible feats of strength and courage, they could beat Superman and the Hulk with a single look. Characters capable of such evil and psychopathy, the mere thought of them makes Homelander shiver. Characters of such intelligence and technological skill, Iron Man and Batman want to be their sidekicks. And it's called Henry Danger.
He has no rules, no boundaries. He doesn't flinch at torture, human trafficking, or genocide. He's not loyal to a flag or a country or any set of ideals. He trades blood for money.
Coming straight from Daniel Shoes Off Schneider, Henry Danger is one of the Schneider's Bakery shows that ended up having quite the resurgence as of recent. Not for its incredible story or deeply personal studies of one's character or any yucky nerd stuff like that, but because it's an untapped goldmine of shitposts.
Hit the table twice if you're okay!
The Drake and Josh / Victoria / iCarly heyday was long out the door, and Game Shakers was yet to become one of the shows of all time, leaving Henry Danger to keep things partly afloat, and Sam and Cat to marinate on the televisions of children everywhere.
Hey there, Mr. Peony.
My name's Peasy!
No, ain't no party like a Diddy party.
Despite this, Henry Danger managed to get 5 seasons and an upcoming movie that's in post-production at the time of recording, which will act as the final encounter following the series ended the March of 2020. I had long stopped following the show by then, but at some point during it, they introduced a bunch of new kids. Huh. I wonder why they would be doing that. God damn it! Danger Force started in 2020, long after Henry Danger's time in the spotlight. Yes, even the animated one. This time without the help of Soul Sniffer Schneider, for pretty good reasoning I'd say. You could play devil's advocate and claim that the quality has gone down since its leave, and to that I say there was always shit, but 10-year-olds cracked out on Slurpees and Fun Dip packets don't care what's on the television. It follows the adventures of Mika, Miles, Chappa, and Bose as they learn from the best of the worst at... swag.
Oh my god!
I guess Nickelodeon is really banking on all the kids too young to watch The Boys watching this instead, because it only ended in current year 2024. Give it another 10 years and we'll be on the 3rd reboot of the Captain Man cinematic universe. Though I imagine there's a hefty dose of nostalgia unknowingly infecting my opinion of Henry Danger. I remember it being mostly good. Better than the shows it was running with at the time, at least.
With the side of Kirk fries and a Kirk shake. See what I did there? I introduced myself.
Kill yourself!
It was pretty campy, which is absolutely the right direction to go. There's just no way in hell you could pull off a Zack Snyder on a Nickelodeon sitcom budget. My mother, who does not consume superhero media in any way, shape, or form, absolutely loves this show for a reason still undeterminable by modern science. And she, like I, noticed a lack of je ne sais quoi in Danger Force. That's French for where's Kid Danger? Alright, I'm tired of bitching like an amateur. Let's get complaining like a professional. The episode starts with Schwoz teaching Danger Force how to keep their identity secret, when Bose becomes the vessel for incredibly obvious exposition.
What's my superpower again?
You can move things with your mind?
I thought that was chocolate.
No, I can shoot lightning bolts from my hands.
Sick. Then what's Miles' power?
Apparently, Mika doesn't have a power yet, and they go back to squabbling when D-list Bruce Campbell bursts through the ceiling declaring an emergency. The kids riot and enter the Man's Nest, which with that name should really look like this, through the use of amazing CGI, and the kids get their costumes, discovering that this was all merely a test. Then the intro plays, then it goes back to Ray mocking them as they sit without their costumes. Fucks the point then. Like, I get it was a test and all, but you don't want to keep your superhero costume on? I'd be rocking that shit everywhere. Anyways, they go out on missions and Ray says there's a crime drought, but he's lying because of course he is and leaves shortly after. Not without a drawn-out car wash joke, however.
What? Yep, car wash. Only way my aunt can get a real deep cleaning and she is due.
Can we come? We'll call it a practice mission.
Oh, I'd love to let you guys come with, but she's really shy and the whole process is honestly disgusting, so bye.
As Ray shit shoots with some apprehended criminals.
Goats can't say but. But.
Every single newscaster in Swellview shows up and cue mass extermination. After a scene of the kids learning to lie, Ray gets another call to action, and the kids decide to secretly join him with the help of Miles' teleportation.
Balls, chewing blood.
Ray arrives to Swellview Prison and encounters a heartless, soulless bastard and his cronies attempting to bust the leprechaun's grandpa out. The kids show up and do nothing of value, leading us to our first Nickelodeon sitcom, Oh! When Ray says they can't be superheroes yet.
None of you are ready to be superheroes.
A little side note here. Man, I wish I could be as invested in a show as the camp crowd response. Imagine watching Breaking Bad, but every time Walter says or does something remotely illegal, you start going, oh shit. Naturally, the response is the, it's about the powers from within speech. Then we get a comedy/fight scene that you could have told me came from a fan-made sequel to Kick-Ass, and I wouldn't have doubted you. One of the thugs restrains Mika, and she gets her powers of screaming by, get this, screaming, accidentally destroying the prison's door in the process. Quite possibly the most underwhelming rogues gallery appears, and Ray's like, yeah, whatever, you can help me fight crime. For a first episode, I expected it to be worse, but immediately getting into all the superhero stuff probably helps it in that case. Ray's definitely the best part. Sorry, Danger Force, but God. The writing for them is basically just one character quirk per kid cranked to 10, which I wholeheartedly believe will only get worse as time passes. Let's see if it does with Return of the Kid. The episode starts with genuinely no build-up by having Henry just chilling in the man's nest talking with Ray.
My dad is graduating from Juilliard.com.
You passed the bar?
Yeah.
An emergency call comes in and the kids leave. It transitions to later where Henry and Ray tango and send the battered and bruised Danger Force out on another mission while they shirk their duties. Also, Ray is a fan of unpaid child labor, by the way.
Quit your belly aching!
That's what you get paid for!
You got paid?
Down the tube!
Danger Force returns to Mika and Miles' house, where they start a workers' rights movement to not have to do literally everything.
I hate you!
Ray and Henry play Garage Band in real life for far too long just for a shitty joke, and then sit down to talk about Henry's mom's marital status, an actually decent joke ruined by the laugh track. When the kids return and state their demands, Ray actually doesn't mind, and him and Henry go out on a mission.
All right, let's blow and go.
At the not-quite 7-Eleven, Ray and Henry walk in to see the ever-villainous Jeff doing some petty thieving. Henry stops him almost immediately, and the two bicker about going back to the man's nest when they are restrained by a bounty hunter from Dystopia who can eat your fucking soul. Yeah, I'm kinda interested now, not gonna lie. The bounty hunter, who is apparently a Sith Lord, shows up and is knocked unconscious by a gaggle of falling children. Henry tries to ditch, but is talked into helping fight by Danger Force with the power of friendship.
Let's take this guy down together. Ooh. Is that cheesy? That felt really cheesy.
Yes! Yes! Let this man cook!
They get a confirmed kill on the bounty hunter, and it's time for Henry to go back to Dystopia. After another bromance where they were smart enough to cut the laugh track for a second, at least for half the scene, but still kept in the royalty-free sad music, Henry leaves and roll credits. It's better than the last episode. And this might be a little biased, since I actually watched a good chunk of Henry Danger when I was younger, but only saw Danger Force recently, but I would say it's because of the Henry and Ray dynamic. And in Danger Force's case, how the Henry and Ray dynamic means they don't have to have 5 characters constantly trying to riff off each other. I understand that the whole point of the show is that it's a Danger Force. You know, I'm not entirely illiterate, but when half the kids' scenes devolve into abstract tandem screaming, I start to root more for the Danger duo.
I hate
This one has a couple jokes which lean into my favorite kind of humor in Henry Danger, which is jokes that no child watching it would reasonably know about or care enough to understand. Alright, next one. The episode starts with some gamers gaming when they get bit by a bug that turns them into fucking Fall Guys characters.
Good stream.
They qualify and then go to a Mario knockoff where they meet the bug who bit them and he's like, you use the phone too much, so now I put you in it, ha ha ha, and or take them to Detroit. And then the kids go through the course. Bose drags Choppa into the game, and then the two play a Flappy Bird knockoff, and then a baby-themed match 3 game. I'm tired of this, boss. Anyways, they slime this hellish creature and get some dirt on the Fly Guy before cutting to Miles and Mika. They deal with some mimes and a Temple Runner knockoff of all things, which, depending on how you think about it, is either a really solid reference to an OG phone time waster, or means that the executive team and writing staff behind this product are so old and out of touch they think that Temple Runner is still relevant in 2022 current year. The Fly takes Choppa and says the rest have to give him the gem they got him to get her back, and they do so in an Animal Crossing knockoff. They get Choppa and escape in a sequence that reminds me exclusively of those shitty mass-produced YouTube Kids animations. Afterwards, a DDR parody ensues, and then finally, a Super Smash Bros. Knockoff where they fight the bug and return to Swellview. Alright, well the two biggest problems are that 1, most of the animation looks like a goddamn VeggieTales OC, like they clearly do not have the budget or resources for this. And 2, there's only 2 actual phone games! Seriously, what do they have? Fall Guys? Not mobile. Mario? Super Mario Run does exist, but I am certain that the writers didn't know that, so, half point I guess. Flappy Bird? Yes. By the way, do not delete Flappy Bird from your iPhone! Baby Match 3 game? I mean, Match 3 is a phone game standard, but then they're in a car too, so half point on the basis of I don't know what they could possibly be referencing outside of Match 3 games themselves. Temple Runner? Yes. Animal Crossing? Pocket Campfire doesn't play like a traditional Animal Crossing game, so no. Dance Dance Revolution? No. And Super Smash Bros? Surprise, surprise! No. That's arguably 3 actually relevant game parodies out of 8 total in an episode that is specifically focused on phone game parodies. Christ, I can't even say the audio or voice work is any good either because it sounds like each actor is using a different microphone in a different studio.
Well, that was weird. What now?
That is either a very large trash can or a teenager's bedroom setup. You know, like mine. No publicly produced television series should have the same audio quality as me.
Are you telling me we're stuck inside the phone?
What mic do you use? It sounds great.
I don't know, I've never had problems.
This is without a doubt the worst episode of the 3 so far, and despite being under 20 minutes, I feel as though I've lost years off my life I will never get back. Okay, so the final part of Danger Force is technically a 2-parter, but I'm just gonna do it in one because that's easier, right? I haven't watched any episodes of Season 3, except for the episode that introduced Kid Dynamite, because I was in a hotel room and it was the only interesting thing on the television. But I think I've missed a lot of continuity, because the cold open to the first part genuinely got me. I don't know what to say, really.
Are you serious?
The Miles system.
Is that a fucking Dennis system joke?
I'm watching you, you bitch. You're gonna die tonight.
The episode starts alright, but gets significantly worse once the Ginger Hell spawn appears. Whatever the hell the blonde lady was doing in the last episode has caused a comet to fall towards Swellview, a situation Ray will not be dealing with as he has decided to retire effective immediately, and retire to a boat with his new wife Credenza. Ray also casually admits that he's told basically everything he shouldn't have to Blondie, including Danger Force's identities. Good to see that we've fully entered cartoon logic now. Choppa and Miles break the news to Mika and Bose. They and Schwoz are studying the cave paintings when they discover an ominous prophecy. Miles and Choppa get jumped before a conclusion is reached, and Danger Force groups up to figure things out. Ray gets a call from Mika, but Credenza trashes his phone. Schwoz taps into a camera feed on the bad guy's masks, discovering Credenza's evil intentions. Danger Force teleport to Ray's house, instead being met by former villain Lil Dynamite. They prove to him his mother is evil in maybe 5 seconds. Danger Force go to stop Credenza, getting captured so fast it happens before the scene can even transition, and because it's cheaper than filming another fight scene. A Swellview songbird flies in, which Lil Dynamite communicates with to find help. I swear to God that bird was made for another project. Is it even rendered? Ray is hanging in the changing room with his new homeboy Drex, who was his sidekick before Henry for the uninformed, when he is informed of Danger Force's capture by the bird. They go to save the day, and don't.
Poggers!
Mika recaps the evil scheme, and Credenza unleashes the entity. The god monster of all evil comes down and starts disintegrating people in the least intimidating way possible. It can only have a child as a host, and Buddy Lil Dynamite, whatever the hell his last name is, sacrifices his life to save his platoon.
You're my... See, that's what I think it is, Damien.
The creature ices Drax and manages to break the unbreakable by decapitating Captain Man. Possessed Dynamite takes a swing at Credenza, but Danger Force saves her and teleports away. After stabilizing Ray, they argue over the lethality of reattaching his head when a helicopter full of moms show up. Their moms, by the way, not like some unrelated mothers. The moms opt to leave Schwoz and Ray's head behind in favor of diamonds from the underground mine, as Danger Force changes the prophecy's outcome. A news broadcast shows Swellview in a dire state, and the orange-topped abomination gets Thanos'd.
Mr. Overrunner, I don't feel so good.
Yep, this whole show is a goddamn elaborate shitpost, isn't it? Danger Force assemble a plan to throw the god monster back onto the comet as it leaves orbit, and it requires the sacred mom power. Hey yo, is that a fucking Fallout reference? They convince the moms to help, and harness their multitasking energy to gain 10 times the strength and some bullshit, I don't know. It's superheroes, what do you want me to say? Credenza feels enough guilt to return with a signal for Budzilla. Choppa hits the monster hard enough to release Dynamite, and it finds a new host in Mika. Danger Force frees Mika in an impressive visual display through the power of friendship, again. Mika screams the monster onto its comet, and Miles ensures it'll never be a problem again, returning the citizens of Swellview to existence. Ray surprises Danger Force by being whole as he tries to ditch them for good. Although this was all because of Credenza, he has learned nothing and is still gonna live on the boat with her. Schwoz apparently met a princess a while ago and is leaving to enjoy a life of luxury. And Kid Dynamite gets to spend some quality time with his dad Drex, leaving Danger Force to continue fighting the evildoers of Swellview. And finally, the end of Danger Force. Well, that was a goddamn joke. I wasn't lying before when I said that Henry Danger, and by extension Danger Force, does not care as long as it can get a laugh. Except the jokes in Henry Danger were good enough to warrant it, usually. I laughed the most at the cold open, mostly because it was a tonal switch I was not expecting. But the rest was just... not even bad enough to be funny in a corny or ironic way, it's just incredibly mediocre. A fitting send-off to Danger Force, in a sense. There was a compelling story somewhere underneath all those free trial VFX, and it's nice to see some old faces, I guess. Except Henry. You know, like the one character you'd want to come back for the finale. There's gotta be something else. Oh yeah, that goddamn bird that I hate!
That fucking bird that I hate!
That fucking bird that I hate! What?
And that's Danger Force. Seldomly good, occasionally bad, perpetually mediocre. And hey, on that metric, is it really that much worse than Henry Dean? Yes!
Change is our enemy.
What do you want me to say? Danger Force is so terrible it makes me want to become one with the carpet after my corpse rots here unnoticed for a year? Because the animated show is right there and I'd say that— oh shit! No, get it out of here!